Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this Sunday, August the 1st, for our Scissors and Crime members write-in. I am so thrilled that you all came to join Vanessa, Lillie, and I for some community and camaraderie. So let me just do a really quick intro. I have some notes I've written down just so I make sure that everyone knows how fabulous Vanessa is. Vanessa is a critically acclaimed author of Little Voices, her debut, and then For the Best, which came out in September, so almost a year ago now. And she's currently working on her third book, which is set in rural Oklahoma, and we're going to be talking about settings, so this is going to be awesome. Vanessa is a regular contributor to the Providence Journal in Rhode Island. She is a roadie. Is that what we say? Is that right?
Yeah, I totally wrote it. Yeah.
And maybe more importantly to me, Vanessa is a board member of National Sisters in Crime. She is our publicity liaison. I'm so thrilled that you joined today. Thanks,
Cool.
Vanessa.
I'm
Welcome.
so happy to be here. This is I love being forced to write. I
You're in the right
love
place.
I need it. This is essential for me. So thank you for letting me co-host with you. It's super fun.
This is fantastic. Okay, we're going to do, just so everyone knows, we're all be on the same page, so to speak. We're just going to do a quick chat, Vanessa and I, about setting. And then I'm going to set a timer and everyone will just go their separate ways. I'll mute everybody so there's no noises from us. And those of you who like to play music while you write, then you won't be musicking other people while they're writing. We'll have a countdown. It'll be very gentle for 30 minutes rather than the 25. And then we'll come back. Those of you who want to keep writing, please do. But the rest of us will come back. We'll chat a little bit, and then we'll close up and be done hopefully in about an hour. Okay, so let me start. Oh my gosh, let me start. I think I have to. Here we go. I have now turned on our captions. I had forgotten that. So captions are now on. Great. So now we're going to start. We're going to talk about settings. So let me just set the scene. I was going to say, no
Perfect.
pen intended. I don't know. So what is setting? I think setting, often we just think it's place. Where does everything take place? Which is great. Everything needs a place to take place. But I thought I would give 3 tips on why, like my top 3 reasons that working on setting is really important to our work, whether it's a short story or a novel, a novella, novelette. I'm not sure if that, I think that's between a short story and a novella. Um, and so I'm going to give my top 3 reasons why setting is important to work on. And then I've asked Vanessa to share her top 3 tips for writing effective settings. So here's this. And we can come back later after everyone's done the writing. If there are some questions, use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. And we'll take some questions at the end. So if you have some questions in the chat, please feel free to just copy and paste them over to the Q&A and we'll deal with them later. Okay, so here we go. Drum roll, please. Okay, my top 3 reasons for working on your setting. One is to ground your scene. So you want to give your readers something to hang on to so they can place whatever action is happening, whether it's dialogue, conversation, or it's action packed or something like that, because they need to know sort of where their point of view is in a given scene for them to be able to pay attention to what else is going on. So that's one, ground the scene or scenes. The second reason is you can use it to expand or deepen your characterization. So for example, you can use a setting to juxtapose with what's going on for your characters internally, or you can use it to mirror and emphasize or even foreshadow what's going on for your characters in the scene. And that just helps the reader to get more into what your characters are feeling, thinking, doing. On one end of the spectrum of that is when people use a setting almost like it's its own character. It has so much going for it. You're adding another character with your setting. So second reason is to expand or deepen characterization. And the third reason for me is I call it layering your reader's experience. So another way to say it is world building. I've given workshops on world building, and I say it doesn't matter if you're writing a fantasy series or novel, you're writing a historical, or you're writing contemporary. The world of your story is still not going to be the exact same thing as the world of the reader, right? You've got that, I guess it's the fourth wall. So you want to layer the reader experience by working on your setting. And I think of it as a difference between a shadow play and like a full color stage production. So a shadow play can be absolutely appropriate sometimes in certain scenes of a book. At the same time, I think most of us want a short story, novel, novella, etc. We want to create that full stage production feel for our readers. So in short, that's the third reason, to layer the reader experience. So again, ground the scene, expand, deepen characterization, and layer your reader experience. Those are my top three reasons for working hard on those settings. So we can talk more about that at the end. Vanessa, I would love to hear your top three tips on how to do all this great stuff.
Awesome. And Becky asked, what's behind me? So my book covers, she's like, I think I see your name. So that's my debut. And that's the best. That's why my name is like floating behind my head.
This is brilliant.
Cool. Those were great tips, Sandra. That's for me, setting what used to sort of be like the thing I felt I had to do when I was writing. And I think that is because I didn't recognize what you were saying, which is that setting is character. I mean, it is the way that your character is communicating to the reader, even though, yes, you're describing a place, but what your character notices, whatever point of view you're in, that tells you about the character. It tells your reader where your story is going, and it kind of tells them, you know, the tone and what to look out for. It's, you know, it's not just, I think what I used to kind of imagine it being is just like, you have to describe a building or whatever, you know, it's like, oh yeah. So my writing certainly got a lot better when I was not so adversarial with setting. So for my kind of three tips, I definitely thought maybe it'd be helpful if anyone has ever stuck when it comes to setting. I get stuck all the time, pretty much in everything. And so
Come
these
to the
are,
club.
yeah. So these are just little ideas for getting unstuck around your setting. And kind of, as Sandra was saying, to think of, you know, as you think of setting as a character, really, I think sitting down, and I would even like make a list and think, all right, if my protagonist or whoever is in point of view of the scene walks into this room, walks into this forest, walks into this car explosion, like, you know, what are the things that would stand out to them, and why would they stand out to them? And, you know, just like really kind of make a list, and then you can just like pick the best stuff, particularly if it connects to, you know, maybe some emotional wound, or if it connects to a plot point that's coming up. So I think kind of using setting as like a cheat to get to some of the stuff that the reader needs to, you know, get the story going, move it forward. Also obvious, but easy to forget, is the value of going somewhere else to write. And I think setting particularly is something that can be more, you know, inspired. And so if you are lucky enough to be writing about a place that you are or will be soon, like my next book, knock on wood, when someone buys it, is going to be set in northeastern Oklahoma, where I'm from. And I had intended to write that book, you know, it was right at the beginning of COVID, actually, and I didn't go home for 18 months. I planned to go home, you know, to Oklahoma several times, and not going to the place, you know, really had an effect on me. Like when I got there, there was just so much, this like the emotions of a place that really translated in my work and kind of took me new directions. Now, that doesn't mean we're all going to set our books in Paris and Honolulu, and we're all going to just want to go there. But I do think even, you know, if it's set in a forest in the Black Forest in Germany, but you have a forest in Minnesota, go to the Minnesota forest. And like, I just think there's something about like getting a different energy, getting a different flow, and like sitting down with a notebook and like just kind of pulling things out that you might be hard to find if you're like behind your computer screen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And oh, the other thing with setting for me, and I know this will vary for some people like can't read other books while they write. I totally get that. But I do find that like, you know, if I'm underlining certain things with the intention of them like really being inspired towards setting, or the way they describe something was so good, you know, just with the intention to like come back and read it again. I sometimes when I'm reading something I really love, I almost have to put it down so I can go write, because it really shows me kind of how to do it and inspires me, and you know, motivates me to try to write something good. So
Yeah.
maybe flipping back through some of your favorite books in your genre that might kind of echo some themes or are a similar place, just to kind of get the creative juices flowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that one. I love that tip about being inspired by our favorite writers and the ones who work really well on setting. So I think we had a question. Carlisa, I'm so sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right, but when you say place, do you mean location or physicality? Mood can also be place? Absolutely. All of it, all of it, all the things that create the scene is how I think of it, for your characters, for your action. So
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So, okay, great. All right, we will have time to talk more, but right now I think everyone's here to write. So I'm gonna just do some tech stuff to get ready. I'm going to mute everybody, and then there will be a timer on your screen. It's for 30 minutes. At about 25, I'll just gently remind everyone there's 5 minutes more, and then we'll come back together. So let me just do my share screen. And okay, and you'll see I'm about to start a timer. Okay, so everyone, oops, let me mute. Okay, everyone, there's about 5 minutes lost, 5 minutes left, excuse me. 5 more minutes, and then we'll come back together. And we are back, everybody. We are back. We are back. Vanessa, you still look thoughtful. Okay, everyone. Thanks so much for coming back. And I hope your writing went well. Feel free to put it up in the chat how you did. I know some people, it's important for them to have their word counts. So let us know how you did, how many words you managed. That's great, Charlotte. Thank you so much for coming. Short stories, love short stories. Editing, yes. Those count. Wonderful. 350, Anita. Great words. Awesome. Heather, Sharon, Laura. Wow. Thank you, everybody. Yes, Camp Nano ended yesterday. So for those of you who did that and are here again today, good on you. That is so wonderful. This is so great. So let's take a few minutes to, wow, Sherry Harris, 700 words. Wow. Sarah, 260, only, no such thing as only, they all count. 355, Diane, that's wonderful. Most of them look okay. They usually do, it's kind of the order that they come in, right? Editing, that's great, Cindy. Michelle, that's wonderful. And Vanessa, how did you do? Oh, do I have to unmute you? Or can you?
No, I got it. Good. I was actually kind of working on setting.
Excellent.
So it was fun, yeah.
This is so great. Eugenia won 763, amazing. 800 for Jennifer. Francis, that's wonderful. Congratulations, everybody. Pats on the back, applause. Okay, let's take a look at some questions. I have some questions here. The perennial question. Okay, Judy wants to know, if it's not too personal a question, what's your writing process? Are you a plotter or a pantser? Vanessa?
I'm a reformed pantser. Not that pantsers need to be reformed, because they do not. But for me, I could just write about my characters doing nothing for hundreds of thousands of words. So I learned a lot about plotting, and now it's my go-to for sure. But I still have lots of pantsing in my process, because I love the excitement of something happening that you didn't see coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
I
about
don't
you?
know that I'm reformed. I really, I guess my process is I noodle on a book for a while, just sort of let my mind cook up whatever wants to cook up. And I just write a bunch of notes. And then when I really sit down to work is I write an outline. But it's more like, I've been told it's more like a treatment people see in TV or movie. I don't know what that is actually.
Yeah.
And I don't study that stuff. I'm very intuitive. I prefer being really intuitive that way. So, but I do write an outline that's scene by scene, all the scenes that come to me. And that takes like, weeks and weeks. So I do the outline, and then that's almost like my first draft, but then I sit down to draft. And when I draft, I love having the framework of the outline. But I also allow myself to go wherever, wherever the characters are taking me while I'm writing. So I'm like a plotser.
A
A
plotzer. I
plantser.
love it.
I'm a scenester.
Yeah.
I learned that phrase from Alyssa Cole, watching a thing from Alyssa Cole.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm a scenester. I do the scenes as an outline, and then I draft, and then I just go wherever it takes me. So I'm a plantser.
Becky Sue Epstein wanted to know, how many scenes do you usually have in place
It totally
before you
depends.
do the draft?
Yeah, it depends on the manuscripts. So I have done as many as I don't know, gosh, I don't really know. They end up being chapters. So, 30 some odd. I don't use 40 some odd. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'd have to look because it's been a while since I've had an outline, Becky Sue. So I don't I don't remember the last one because it was like a couple years ago that I finished. Because you finish a thing and you do however many drafts. But at least 30, 40, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yes, love Alyssa Cole. Absolutely. Shout out to Alyssa Cole, who's not on this write-in, but please know, Alyssa, we all love you.
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
then I have another question. It's actually to you, Vanessa. E said, I believe you were getting ready to answer what your favorite crime fiction short story was. So when you have a minute, please do share. Now you're on the hot seat.
so what I was going to say, you've very perceptive person, is that I'm really excited about the new, um, is it mystery anthology
The best
that is
American,
being, it has changed hands and it's being edited this time.
the best
Sorry, I have
American
like
short, best American short stories, I
short
think.
stories. Yes. Um,
Yeah.
and so there's going to be, I think, several Sisters in Crime members there. Steph Cha is editing it.
Mhm.
And so I would say I have a feeling my new favorite one's going to come from that edition. So I'm like really looking forward to it this fall.
So am I. So I guess that would be all the best. It'll be all our favorites, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
cheating,
Well, look out for
letting Steph
that.
Cha pick it for me.
Yes, there you go. Best American Mystery and Suspense 2021.
That and
Thanks,
Kate Delia.
Celia.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
I'm
I'm
excited.
so sad though, double tears, because I'm Canadian, so I cannot like even be considered. Oh, so sad.
Oh,
I know,
they
but
need
I'm
to
looking
make a
forward to reading it.
Canadian one. I mean, crime
Anyone
fiction
want to
Canada is
contract
amazing.
me to edit? I will
Okay.
do that.
I think that would be really awesome.
Oh, Becky Sue, that is a low blow. Isn't Canada part of America? Ouch.
Uh,
Ouch. I'm
they don't
hurt.
want us, Becky Sue. um,
Awesome. So did
I
anyone?
saw, oh,
Mhm.
cool. Maggie King said Murder by the Glass anthology comes out in September.
That sounds
Very
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, also best North American short stories. Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I saw earlier, Delia, you said that she used this time to kind of start on something new and it worked well. That's really exciting. I love that. Like sometimes you just sit down and you're like, well, let's just see what happens. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Wonderful. I think, thank you everyone for coming and spending time with us on a Sunday. I hope where you are, it's beautiful. The weather is beautiful and you can go back out and enjoy the sunshine or a really lovely day. Thank you again, Vanessa. I'm just going to pop in a link here for everybody. I hope you got it. Yes. So this write-in session was recorded, is being recorded, as you well know at the beginning. And the link I just popped in the chat is for you to rewatch this one and use what we talked about. And then there's months and months worth going back to January of 2021. So this is our first year. And there are tips on every single one of them, I believe. And then the write-in as well, and they're all recorded. So I know there were some glitches on this one, and I hope that it did not detract from people writing, whether you're writing live with us today or you're watching the recording. Thank you again so much, everybody. I'm just gonna pause and end the recording, and then we can say our goodbyes. So thanks
Great.
again.